I'm going to play as the orcs. Because I know how to get going as the orcs. Okay. You pick laptops up and put Linux on them and purge them of the taint of Windows. The way you say that, it makes it sound like it's a workout. Also, now that I think about it, games that like had a good idea but like were just too early. I think Manor Lords actually probably fits into that. Kind of is. Acer fights you? I guess so. I don't know. I haven't had any issues. Although I don't own an Acer computer. I own Acer monitors. Or owned an Acer monitor. I don't actually have it anymore. I gave it to my parents. One of the nicest monitors I had, actually. It's my first 60 hertz monitor. It was an Acer monitor. Makes their stuff nearly impossible to customize. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I remember Acer bloatware being a big deal. So who here has never played this game before? Or seen it? Let's do a little show of hands. I also just wanted to mention that it costs 1 bit to get number 3 on the bits leaderboard if you want your name at the top of the stream. Never seen this before? Okay, first thing I need to say about this game. The demo is the full game, but the demo is roughly a year behind in development. So it's an older build, but you can literally play the whole game for free as long as you want. It's the demo. So that's the first thing. If you're even remotely interested, just go try the demo. You will have mostly the same game with less polish. The next thing is this game is like obtuse a bit, but there is decent in-game assistance. I almost always run into problems and then get annoyed with it, but it kind of comes with the territory, I think. There's a bunch of different starting races and they have their different difficulties. If you start as dwarves, you're fucked. Good luck. Dwarves are a pain in the ass to play as early, but just wanted to get that out of the way. So essentially, the race that I know the best are the Cretonians. We tried 2 weeks ago to play as the humans, and I kind of was bumping into some stopgaps. I think like my preferred way to play is start off with the Cretonians and then bring in a few humans. Because these guys are very good at farming and keeping happy initially and getting you through that early game, kind of get your economy rolling, and then bring in humans and then just subjugate all of the orcs and like turn them into a submissive subclass of pathetic, not quite humans, and then let the humans run the show. Because that's what the humans would do, right? Makes perfect sense. Or you could just bring in the elves and eat all the orcs. But that's besides the point. This is a game about kind of being the bad guy usually. So do keep an eye on that. It does actually simulate like segregation in cities in a really interesting way. Like this game has a lot of interesting internal politics, which make it neat. So that's kind of my baseline thoughts on it. But yes, if you would like to just try this, should you bring your PC to the living room and play DF on your couch, or if you play it on your desk, if you have two, or if I play it on the desk, you have 2 monitors? I would do it on the desk with 2 monitors because then you could have the wiki up or stream up. Thanks for the 5 or 15 pennies. Appreciate it, Volpine. It's okay, I suck at Dwarf Fortress too. So now I have 2 very important questions, chat. What do I name my ruler? The default is Bob. And what do I name my faction? I should name the I'm looking at the name of this faction and go, what would you do? I feel like naming my leader for a Klondike bar might be a bit. maybe I should name it. I mean, my ruler being Klondike bar. For a Klondike. No, well, that's our war cry, right? For a Klondike bar. Right now, currently, probably not much. Actually, would I do for a Klondike bar? That's the exact right amount of on the nose. No, I mean that would be naming him this. That would be on the nose. I don't know how I would do that. Klondike sounds like a name. And bar could be a last name. Okay, now the question is how would I doodle this? Because like you can draw your flag, right? How would I draw a Klondike bar? It would be like hold left mouse button to draw. There we go. Okay. So it would be like it's a damn shame I don't have an additional shade. Because, like, that's all I can really do. And, like, that's not a very descriptive ice cream sandwich. Random brown square? I mean, yeah, no, I can't add in additional colors. I can just, like, yeah. It's just those. Like it can change the color of the pole, can change the color of the foreground and the background. Guess I could go more white. Maybe like, how would I do black? Guess just do that. Yeah, I think that's about all I could really do. I mean, I could do like this. That's not really a Klondike bar. Oh, a K? Yeah, I guess I could do a K. That kind of works. I'm not a very good pixel artist, as you can clearly tell. True, actually, KB would probably be the better way to do that. It's gonna start looking like a KB Toys logo. I think that looks worse. Do a bear? Okay, let's see if I can free draw a bear here. Chat's just like, I don't know what I fucking signed up for here. Okay, maybe I need to do like that. You know, that's like 1,000 times better than I was expecting that to turn out. But also, like, it's off by a pixel. So, let me just see if I can unfuck this. The fuck did I do to your ear? I didn't fix it at all. I like unfixed it. There we go. What would you do for a Klondike bar? You'd fight with demented Mickey Mouse is what you would do. Now the question is it better like this? Or is it better like this? Angry Mickey. How about blue? Can I make it like a blue? So rounded ears and not Minecraft ears, Eric? It's more cute with less blocks. If I want to make him angry, I could do that. He's frowning. Now he's screaming. So many emotions. Now he's got an angry unibrow. I could also make his head taller. I could go up to here, maybe. Bigger ears, maybe? This is the classic streamer still in the character creator. Yeah, now I can give him a full-size smile. He can truly be the angry bear that we always knew he was. Let's see if I can do this, maybe. Yeah. You once spent 3 hours in one? Why the long face? True. Well, I mean, just have to make him less happy for the long face. Could also do that. Or like that. He's got like drool or tongue. Now he's got a handlebar mustache, or he's very pissed off and we'll never know. The single tooth. I think I like that. I think I'm gonna send it with that. I mean, what would you do? It's either what would you do for a Klondike bar with this, or it's like, what's the really cheap? It's like Kraft brand peanut butter. I swear this is a city builder, by the way. In regards to spending like hours in a character creator, I paid for Black Desert Online and just built a character in the character creator and then refunded it. I spent an hour and a half making a character in Black Desert Online because I wanted to mess with the character builder. What did I do for a Klondike bar? Spent $4.99 at the corner store up the street this past summer. That's what I did. Save as default. Nah, I don't want to be... Well, fuck it. I will be subjected to this as embarrassment in the future. Send it! All right, I don't have many art options, so I'm just going to take the Artisan and the Nudist, because those are the only perks that I have available. The Nudist, you unlock these as you play. I don't think I can save the game, actually. Maybe I should refund that. And disable that. Because I don't actually think I can. Outside of, like, you know. I can turn on name requests. So if you want to name a citizen, you can do that. They might randomly die with no real indication as to why or when, but you could do that if you want. So the Artisan gives me what? It gives me plus like 12% to all of those constructions. And the Nudist, each race when you unlock this title will make its boosts more potent by an additional 8.3%. Plus a current boost of 5.83% speed. I think that's movement. Now I can choose a map type, or I can just do random. We'll just do random. I think I'm going to say a little bit more southern. Haha! Then it generates you a world. Then you find a place. So this game kind of looks like a game that was made for, like, in the mid-90s that never released. This is very much one of those games. So now we're looking for somewhere where I'm not super isolated. I want a good mix of resources. As you can see there, it's all 0 right here. At least something, like at least like clay or clay stone or a source of iron. I can also regenerate the world pretty easily. I might actually do that because I'm not really seeing much in the way of areas where I'd want to settle. Where I won't just be super isolated. I mean, that's actually pretty good. But it's isolated. But there will be little opportunity for trade. Little opportunity for trade means slow progression. Let's just regenerate. Ooh, that's actually a really... It's like the mountain serpent. That's pretty dope, actually. That mountain range coming through here. Look at that. Good for lumber, mountains, fresh water, good moisture, various different pastures, a little bit of everything. I think this could work. Look at that. Serpent's Pass, yeah. Mount Darfurum and the Dillburn Hills. Is Serpent's Pass a thing from something specific? What was the Snake Way in Dragon Ball? Where Goku dies and has to run to get out of hell? To those of you who've played this, chat, what do you think of this? That's not Avatar, that's Dragon Ball. I mean, maybe there's a Snake Road in Avatar too, but I'm thinking of Dragon Ball. What does it say? Secret tunnel. No, this is just a random map. I literally clicked the generate button a minute ago. I really don't like the combat in this game, so. Serpent's Pass is an avatar. Okay, then what's the long... It literally looks like a fucking snake. Now it's generating all the trade routes and all the different factions. And it's plopped us right here. What would you do for a... right next to Buksu? Which is a something. Ninbura. That has bug people. That has a fuck ton of orcs right there. I like how it's like you're gonna be isolated, yet there's like bug people right there. Looks like these people will be able to trade with, but it's mostly just these guys. Hoogland? What's the Hoogland peoples? We got Winsta over there. They're the Winstigators. We got humans. What's up here? More dwarves. Are those humans or dwarves? Those are humans. A lot of stuff going on down here. A lot of little countries. Free state. Oh, so as in like they... How do you know if they're a free state? Where does it indicate that? Is it the colors? Because I know that they're like the insect people. There's 5,000 of them though. It's because of the gray color? Interesting. Okay. So then, like, these aren't free. Right, I see. All of these guys are part of Hoogland, and then these are part of... Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. So then that would be a free state up there. Same with here. And up there. And over here. I do, like, I do want to mess around with the combat and try and figure it out properly since it's been redone, but I want to be the one that instigates it, is my primary desire for the combat in this. Is like I want to decide when I do the fighting. I don't want the enemy to do the fighting for me. All right, so now I click this button. OPMs means about as much as free cities to me. I don't know what that means. So now I decide where I put my city on rock. Okay, so we got lots of wheat over there. We got fruits over there. We're going to need to get my duders here to gather stuff. We've got gems, coal, and metal. We got rarer minerals. We got stone deposits. We've got whatever this shit is. Looks like deer poop to me, but I think that's a thing that I can mine. We got a clay deposit. Lots of grain. It's not, is it adamantine or is that something else? There's also a pre-built road here, which seems to stop right about there, which runs down the bottom of the map down to here. We got opium and animals that we can harvest, various varieties. I think we stop over here somewhere. Also, let me overlay moisture. So I want to farm over here, basically, along the river. But there's actually a lot of moisture right there. So I could start here and farm over here. What do you guys think? Closer to the river or closer to over here? I mean, over close by the river would make some sense. Yes, no. Namaki's right. You know, the richest and most successful run I ever had in this game was literally just becoming a giant opium factory. I exported so much opium, and there's a clip of me playing this from a while ago saying, "Who knew? Drugs sell for a lot of money." Turns out. I don't know why I'm shocked. Yeah, let's just go kind of like right in the middle here. The British strat is sell everybody opium. Now, once you've placed this, I would like to point out that the weirdest bug I ever encountered in a video game, and I just like to mention this because it's amusing to me, was while playing this, and it was when I placed the throne, or if I moved it, OBS would disconnect. And I still to this day don't know why that was happening. The weirdest. It happened to everybody who played this game and streamed with OBS. Because if you looked at any VOD the first week this game was out on Steam, there was a break in everybody's VOD right when they did that. It was bizarre. Cheers, chat. Thanks for tuning in for Variety Week, where we play Songs of Six and whatever the heck that previous game was. Maybe we'll do something else this week and add in a little bit more variety. Maybe we'll check in with some Manor Lords or something a little later in the week. I would like to remind everybody, I am hosting Legends. So if you like Dwarf Fortress, this game that I sometimes stream, the Legends for my current world are hosted on my personal server. And if you're watching on Twitch, you can just type in !legends. But for the people on YouTube, go to legends.blindIRL.net and it'll give you a link. I'm kind of beta testing it right now. So like if it breaks, now's the time I want to know, because I'm not constantly having to update it. But I will update it probably at the beginning and the end of most streams. Ideally. I've ever played Kenshi. I find it really, 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 really hard to look at, Kenshi. Like just aesthetically, I don't like looking at it. In theory, I would like Kenshi a lot. In practice, I find Kenshi really boring. But the main reason for that is I've just never gotten over that hump. I probably would really like Kenshi, but I play enough games already that I could sink 5,000 hours into. And if I was going to play a game like that, I think I'd rather get into Mountain Blade very heavily or Star Sector very heavily, because both of those games are more interesting to me than Kenshi. I will play Kenshi 2 whenever that releases. Okay, so let's start off with farming. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I was watching a friend. Oh, actually, the first thing we got to do is we got to start off by harvesting. I was watching a friend of mine, Deep Space, play this relatively recently. Now, love Deep Space, love his soul. But I gotta tell you, chat, he made a much nicer looking city than I do. I need to take a real quick peek see at these people. Now, Nomal, you told me to save the game. Now, I unfortunately will not be saving the game. However, what I will do is leave this person's last name. That's you now. Overall likes in your hamlet, but offered those suggestions to make it more harmonious. I am a follower of Cretoism, and I cannot worship properly in this plantation. We need more and better shrines to Krator's honor. My foremost chieftain, the first step in building a mighty settlement would be to build some homes for us. Our settlement is beautiful and all that. But just imagine, my leader, our streets covered with Klondike bars. I mean, a forest plaza. We would like to be allowed to wear more clothes. Clothes? That's funny. One thing at a time. Let's not be hasty. All right, so let's see. What do we need here? Services. These are their likes and dislikes. You can allow them to use resources in their homes. Environment, buildings. What do they prefer? Okay, so they're not so much... I really wish I could hover over that for the different building types, but... They really like wooden buildings. So it seems like they prefer round buildings. This is liked by your plebeians. Higher value equals more fulfillment. So... They don't want square buildings. And they want buildings made of wood. Yeah, okay. Let's see what we can do here. Fell tree. Ah! Sorry. It always takes me a minute to remember how to play this game. Controls-wise. Now let's unpause. I'm also going to shrink this down. Just to give us a little bit more space here. Pig menu. You're Mech Grunt. I am going to adjust your last name slightly. You're Alan Mech Grunt right now. I'm going to change you to Alan Mick Grunt, because that's just funnier. We need more homes for our people. Yada, yada. What else do you need? You're sure that... I'm sure our splendid leader, like me, would prefer a forest plaza for our streets. That would make all Cretonians happy, as they can be. Variety of foods is a bit bland. My leader, if I may be so bold to suggest, you use materials suited for Cretonians when building. I shall provide you with more wood, madam. Let's go. Should probably start off. I think we'll start off with storage, because that'll actually tell me what's in my inventory. And then we'll move into the realm of warehouse. Warehouse. Oopsies. What is the hotkey to? That I was trying to do. Oh well. Let's see. What shapes do I have? I've got brush, clips, hexagons or bestagons. Excellent. But what about you? I see. These are tools I need to mess around with a little bit more. I think. Hexagon, hollow hexagon, eclipse. I see. Warehouse? Yes, their house. And then I can go. Actually, let's make you a little bigger because that was 13 by 13. Let's do like a 15 by 15. And then go thunk, 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 thunk. How's that? So this is going to be our first warehouse. If I hold down control and scroll up, I can make this big. This is going to be kind of a pain to fit, isn't it? So what's fun about this is you'll be able like, I've got this figured out. I've got this one faction figured out. And then you'll let a bunch of humans in and they'll be like, fuck all these round buildings, man. What is all this goddamn orc propaganda? And then you'll have to like rebuild half your city for them so that they don't hate you. But like they'll be more specialized in different tasks to complete different things. So that's kind of what this game turns into, is just like having to constantly, not constantly, but like decide if you're willing to let in a different population because now you have to deal with what they want. Which is kind of a, I don't know, a fun mechanic. Capital F. Shh. We just have to keep asking them what they would do for a Klondike bar. How you doing, Anander? Make Nomal the QA tester for opium, don't worry. I'll also let you run the brothel, don't worry. We'll get there. I could make you the master baiter. Unironically. Because that's the master of fishing. I think I should, like... cancel a bunch of these. I got too much wood being hauled or worked on. I want them to go build that instead. I can't give anybody the master baiter yet, though, because I need, I think, several hundred population before I can assign those. Because those are under this, which you need nobles for, which I don't have yet. Hear me out, Solitaire. What am I naming this poison? Yeah, you can have different types of housing blocks for different peoples, Joel. But still. Also, Whiskey is this guy's name? Right. Right. Speaking of Solitaire, have you guys seen Forbidden Solitaire? I'm a follower of Cretonianism. You need to worship, yada yada. I think my house would look lovely with some furniture. Don't you think so, Elder? Yada yada. As they slowly work through this. Well, well, well. This is going to take a little bit to build, isn't it? Actually, hold on. Let me check something. Did I fuck up? Did I fuck up? Okay, so I made this out of the wrong material. They want wooden buildings, not mud buildings. So I will, I think, just replace this. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's just plop you down here, and then go to here, and then go smart remove. Let's get them to work on that instead. We're shoveling 16 tons, and what do we got? A pile of orcs and not much of value. Telling Artho. What, like once the structure's built? I didn't know that, Joel. I'll have to find that. Like if I go to this, is there a way to do that? And it's instant. Well, that's news to me. That seems a little buggy. Just have to find exactly what tab you're talking about then. Getting a tip from the YouTube side, but... No, just let them finish building it. It very well may be one of those, like, it also needs to be finished. You do realize that I streamed about 3,500 hours of Rimworld and burnt out so hard on that game that I never want to play it again. And the last time I launched it was in 2022, early 2022, as part of recording a bit for a charity event that I didn't end up taking part in. So yeah, it is very unlikely you will see Rimworld on this channel. Well, if you wanted me to be a Rimworld channel, you should have watched me when I was playing Rimworld. I realize that's like not a fair statement, but no, it is very unlikely I'll play Rimworld. I would need to be really desperate for money to have to inflict that game upon myself once more. They're all napping. also really want housing. Maybe it's unfair of me to not give them housing. I'm just gonna plunk down a singular longhouse right there, just so that they have somewhere to snooze. Yeah, would have been the last Rimworld Hot Potato I took part in. I just don't enjoy that game. I would say at least 5 to 6 times per stream. Like, if I got a subscription for every time somebody subscribed or someone asked me if I was going to stream Rimworld, I would probably have around 2,000 subscribers concurrently. Yeah, I know this. Smart Salah. Although usually I don't bother with the hunters early game. I usually just go to the actual herds of animals and just hunt and click and drag rather than like making the shop early game. Just trying to get them to finish this. But it's not the greatest spot. I mean, over here is obviously way better, but over here ain't bad. We're gonna need to harvest the actual fruit that's around here too. Has playing it more kind of solved it? No, I have a lot of fundamental design issues with this game. But, like, me saying that I have issues with a game doesn't mean that I don't like it, necessarily. Like, I have a lot of issues with Dwarf Fort, as an example. That, like, I wish were better, and that I can point at and be like, that could be improved in any number of ways. But that doesn't mean that, like, I don't like it. It just means that I wish it was better. And when I'm, like, reminding myself how to play a thing, it's very easy to fixate on things that could be improved. But, I don't know. If the developer can ever convince me that I like the combat in this game will increase in quality, like, tenfold very quickly. I think I'm just going to quietly just kind of put... let's do a little bit of that. Let's do a little bit of that. Let's do that, that for right now, and maybe a bit of that as well. Then I will build a second one of these in a little bit and put in resources as well. But for right now, let's just throw wood in there. Anything else can be stuff that we gather. Why did I put eggs in there? Don't need that. Just more wood. Now we have 13 people. Brings in a little bit of extra house. I'm trying to just make a little town, primarily here. Longhouses are like the lowest quality housing, but it's something. You probably would have a very hard time relearning it. Yeah, and that's a lot of what this game is like this game requires a lot of trial and error and fiddling to learn. Let's just do fire. Nope. What's it called? Burn. Nope. Mass grave. Where's the afterlife? Entertainment. Home. Health. Lavatory. That's something we can make, but that needs furniture. Could just make a shrine. So 153 wood. They really like their shrines, so I will... It's a hearth, that's what I need to make. Let's plop that down there, and a hearth. There it is. That can be our little starter. Because currently we are in fall, so I've told them to go up to here and harvest these. And they will harvest those once they are ready to be harvested, which we are getting there. I'm also going to drop down the amount of meat in here. Just increase fruit. Same with mushrooms. Those can go down to like nothing. We still have not a lot, but there is a little bit of rations left. Very little. Almost none. But so far, so good. So far, so good. If we get desperate for food, I can always just manually tell them to go hunt. Feel free to drown him. Oh, I'm sure he'll drown himself. Or she'll drown herself. I'm actually not sure what nomald is. But yeah, I don't know. When it comes to me in Rimworld, I think my main reluctance to go back to that game is I know in my heart that I don't enjoy that game. And when you combine that with the fact that I just don't want to play it, and also there's a lot of other people who stream that game, it's very difficult for me to justify playing a game that I know more or less has that niche filled. That just makes it very difficult for me to justify playing something that I know I don't like playing. So that's the main reason I'm hesitant to ever go back to that game, because I know it would be very difficult for me to enjoy it. And it's not like there isn't enough people playing that. I would rather play a game like this, where I enjoy it a lot more, and I don't have the historic like burnout issues with that game, or just like overplaying fatigue more than anything. And instead I just get to, you know, enjoy the process of playing a game. Be sick if you could create your own races in the game. I mean, that's called modding, yeah. But no, I mean, in-game customization, like, that would be neat. Also, we lost a person. Which means I gotta build a mass grave. They got mauled to death by things we're hunting. Area is too thin. Oh. I see. Guess I actually have to make it a square. Ish. Okay, let's just go house. Oh, shit, we're in an ad break. No, pause. So wait, you changed the name and color palette of the pre-existing ones, made the orcs green? Because, like, the game literally already has humans, dwarves, elves, and orcs. What's different about them in your version? Mind? And honestly, that... Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about Rimworld because it turns into me stating why I don't want to play it. But did I play Rimworld with Combat Extended? I remember talking with the person who made that mod in my chat. Yes, I played with Combat Extended. That doesn't improve the base fundamentals of the game that I don't like. I've moved beyond it. And you will never get it again. Unless someone wants to give me $1 million to play it once, then I'll do it. Maybe, like, $5,000? I play it for, like, an hour? You can get that. I love how, like, diplomatic you're trying to be with that question. There's breeders, and there's nurseries. Humans have nurseries. I want to say the orcs have breeders. But, like, if they're mating in it, sure. Like, do they multiply? Yeah. Is it, like, hanky-panky sexy time? Not really. It's just, like, a mechanic in the game. Hey, Bunk. How are you? They've got too many tasks to complete, but at the very least we got a farm up and running. We have no food, which is great. It's gonna be a fun first year, let me tell you. The stats of the races are changed. Fair enough. I just think it's funny that, like, the game has all of those archetypes in it, mind, and you're just like, yeah, I modded the game, and it has everything the game already kind of has, but like no real description as to how they're different. Again, like, I actually really like that this game has its own unique flavor of fantasy, even though we're all starving to death. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Should see. Yeah, there you go. Go get him, bud. I'm sure our splendid spirit guide like me would prefer a forest plaza for our streets. Age 6. You're 6 years old? That is definitely not a 6-year-old, but I will believe you. Game. If you tell me that enough times. Oops, no. They need to finish making that so that the mauled to death person can get put into the mauled to death person room. Well, at least I've got a bunch of meat now. I was hoping it gets put away soon. They're over here farming. The houses are getting filled up. We got plenty of extra housing around. Let's bring in the peoples. I do have food. The thing is, it's like just not distributed into here right now. What is this? It's grain, livestock as well. Can you commit genocide in this game? Can we use words that don't make me want to throw up? Can you kill everybody? Probably. Have I done it? No. Like, you can just enslave an entire chunk of your population if you want. Like, there's just an enslave button. So if you have, like, a populace of, like, humans and, like, dwarves and, I don't know, the lizard people, you could just, like, click a button and turn them all into slaves. Like, this game really lets you be a maniacal shitbag, if that's what you dream of. But I think, like, the individual factions are more multi-race than... are more multiracial than you might want if you were just a racist piece of crap in real life. But there we go. Now it's counting all my stuff because everything's getting put away. I'm just going to copy you. Plunk you down there, and this is going to be for more raw resources. Whereas this is going to be for more food and other related things. But I did interview the developer of this game once, and he once said that he hopes that all aspiring oppressive dictators play his video game instead of becoming oppressive dictators. Because he said it would be more, it would be better for society if they just played a video game instead of, you know, being oppressive dictators, which I don't think is like how the world works, but I respect the approach to a degree. I'm gonna give them a little bit of wood that they can take, and then we're gonna start doing carpentry. So how much are you gonna produce next year? 8.1 days you'll produce. Still don't know. Don't know just yet. Bring out the weird in people? I don't know if they necessarily bring out the weird in people. I mean, it's a fair question in a game like this. Like, I think it's just, like, choice of words. Maybe not the wisest in some cases, but... Like, I would say that, you know... Civilization can bring out the weird in people. It's just how you choose to word it. That's all it really is. It's just how you choose to word it. So let's remove all of this. Just add in more general resources for manufacturing. This one's going to be a bit more specialized. Actually, I think what I might do is just send these down to 0. Increase everything else, send these down to 0. Increase everything else. Send these down to 0. Send you down to 0. Increase everything. 0, 0, 0. Let's increase like fiber. Because we're gonna probably have some of that pretty soon. Or I'm not gonna have any time soon. Coal I'm not gonna have any time soon. So let's bump up that. And fiber. Maybe, yeah, fiber. I will be farming fiber. I'm not gonna be doing anything with leather though, initially. Or not prioritizing it anyway. And then this last one, we'll put something else in it, but probably furniture, like more processed goods. I might leave this one empty for the moment, actually. I could just use a woodcutter. Why don't we do a woodcutter here? So woodcutter basically manages a forest for you. I don't think they... Okay, so I know they like round buildings. Do they care if a building is, if not round, then like... Do they care if a field is round? I don't actually know. I will say, building roundness as a preferred building trait might be one of my favorite things about this game. Like, certain people liking square buildings and certain people liking round buildings is just fucking funny to me. And I will like that forever. Auxiliaries uses what? That uses furniture. Okay, so... Could upgrade you later and give you auxiliaries. Or I could... You know what? I'll just make a carpenter's shop. Because I'm going to need it anyway. So efficiency is what I'm looking at now. So that's 59... Because those are storage, so it can keep stuff on site. Gives me 72. Man. $95, eh? And then I will do carpenter. Carpenter, more like carpentered. I don't want brush. I want eclipse. Think it's dependent on walls? Yeah, no, I believe that you could be wrong. Wish I could, like, pick it up and move it once I've placed it. Let's do that. And then in the middle here, do that because it looks nicer to me. If you right-click, it gets rid of the last thing that they were working on too, which is really nice. Okay, so workbench is what I need. Let's see what I can fit in for workbenches. I'm kind of making my life difficult by doing these as round rooms, but it's what it is. Storage. Excellent. Why did you work there, but not there? Oh, max amount is reached. Okay, well, that's interesting. And then auxiliary workstation. 66. 75. Hundo. It's kind of a lot of wasted space. Let's see what else I can fit. Do like you there. Do that, and then I can do just one more of these. One more sets of these. 91, 95. Hondo! Send it. It's a big-ass carpenter. Yeah, I'm not going to fully employ it. I'm going to run that at like 20% capacity. Maybe less, actually. But yeah, I always start off with very large things. If I set the warehouse to auto-hire workers, I don't ever do that early. I think somebody's behind in the VOD. I don't think the question necessarily reflected on the person, bro. I never said it did. I just said I wouldn't have used those choice of words. Like, does this game let you commit genocide is one way you could word a thing. Another way you could word a thing is, does this game let you go to war with everybody? And does this game let you go to war? Actually, you could just ask that. And it has much less sticky connotations, even though it could more or less be the same question. That's all. Uno, when, was me. If you're watching my chat and watching my stream, if you're in my chat and watching my streams, and you are bothered by me critiquing your choice of words periodically, then I do recommend for your sanity you watch somebody else. If you're okay with me doing that, then welcome to my channel. We'll get along just fine. Can you commit genocide in this game? Travenoid. I literally just said it a second ago. But anyways, I'm leaving it at that. Bald supremacy? Man. I guess I'm screwed then. You don't really know how you don't really like how the research works? The thing I struggle with in this game, what dang fung in YouTube chat, is I liked the way the older versions of the research worked more than the current one. All right, I need to go gather up a bunch of stone. I think it's clear. Clear rock. There's a big stone field over there. I'm just gonna let them finish doing this, and then we'll let a bunch more people in, because how many are waiting? 13? Actually, that's not too bad. Yeah, let's just take the 13. Take the extra hands. And Emir is the rightful ruler of a land. As such, we can now conduct trade with our neighbors. Good to know. Time to get stoned? I mean bouldered. Boulder dash is the task that they are completing now. They want to give me money and alcohol. I'm gonna deny that. I don't want your money nor alcohol. I don't know. I tend to try to avoid this game's combat because you fight with your city's population. And it's kind of like clunky Total War. And the part I like about this game is the building a hive-like city. So I tend to focus on the parts of the game that I like and ignore the parts I don't like. So if I'm a bit unaware, I guess, of certain mechanics, that's part of the reason, to be honest with you. What do we need? More wood? Yep. I have 53 people. I just find the combat clunky. I don't think the game's aesthetic or view lends itself to combat in your streets. Visually, I can't follow it. I don't find it pleasant to interact with, which is why I have all of the combat turned down to a minimum and pacifism turned up to a maximum, so that I can interact and engage primarily with the parts of the game that I enjoy and automate and ignore the parts of the game I don't. Because, like, look at the way this game looks. Having to spot one person causing chaos in a city of 10,000 is not really my idea of fun, generally. DS, thank you very much for the 29th month. Appreciate you. Check, can I get a round of beers? For DS, keeping that sub alive. Appreciate you, DS. How you doing today? Welcome to Variety Day. The first game missed pretty hard. Also, Clino, I hope you're enjoying your lurks. Clino, did you see the thing that I did over the weekend with the help of Suited Giraffe? Yeah, no, it's still similar, Georgie Pie, but it's more abstract now. It used to be more if this, then that. Now it's if this, then that, and also this. Which is a little bit but... Just really curious to see what the harvest from these is. That's not going to be much, but... We also need more housing. Let's just plunk you down here. Type an exclamation point legends, Clino. That's the thing that me and Suited did. We've certainly got some people talking on some old GitHub repos. Well, at the very least, you can wrap up in blankets. Make warm beverage. It's not too bad. Sucks, but... This game does not have Z levels. YouTube chat. I don't think it would be better if it had it. If it had Z levels, rather. I think I might wait. Estimated harvest this year, 40 and 45. Okay, so that's not much. I mean, those are tiny, so. I'm gonna need to make some bigger farm fields before I let many more people in. I also don't even need to underemploy this. We've actually got enough people. Now that's slowly getting put together. And you can take furniture. most games don't need Z levels. I mean, my favorite example actually of that is is it cancel job, suspend jobs, cancel jobs. One of my favorite examples of that actually is Keeper RL, where like the developer for that game added Z levels because people bugged him to, and I actually think that game is objectively worse with Z levels turned on. Like the Z levels do not add much; they just make it harder to navigate. Round buildings are, if I zoom out, they might be clear. These are warehouses, and then that's a carpenter. And then this is like a natural farm where fruits appear. I've got 2 little cultivated fruit farms, and then I've got this big old woodcutter down here. And then I got my mass grave down there, where one person got mauled to death by a bull. But yes, these are those. It's time to make the lavatory, everybody's favorite lava. Trying to figure out if that's the right size or not. Seems right. Hey, that'll be my toilet. It's time for the communal pooping. Everybody's favorite activity in this universe. Those little doors down on the bottom there. We need 19 furniture, so after that's done, they'll build that. And I'm going to place one there. And one down here. They drove you crazy. There was a I assume it's still in the workshop and still compatible, but there was a mod that I spotted pretty early on when I was first messing around with this game, that made them honk like a goose when they pooped. So instead of making farting like raspberry sounds, they would just go meow. It's truly one of the funniest fucking things. Yeah, there's various different flavors of get rid of the pooping noises. That gets insane. What the? I don't know. There's an element of humor to it. I've seen credits in Caves of Cud. What Dang Fong in YouTube chat made many videos. I first purchased it in 2015 when it went into early access before it was cool. And now it's getting ported to phones. Which is truly wild to me. You love the silly goose energy? What would you like to name? You could name a warehouse. You could name a big snouted orc poison. What do you think? Pink primeval. I mean, it just sounds like a flock of geese. Dragon tea. Can you be a toilet? I can't name them until after they're constructed. So remind me once one of them are done, because this is getting priority. And, you know, right now this is just using up all my wood. Subject of yours has become sick. Oh no! Anyways, there's literally nothing I can do. It's fell tree that I'm looking for. But I just would like to get... Is wood in there? Wood over here. There we go. Yeah, wood goes over here. I actually don't want wood here. I want everything else more of. So I could bring in 18 more people. Those hands would be useful. Let's bring in the people. 71! Now we have 3 days worth of food. Just gotta get all this stuff inside. Worst case scenario, I can go hunt some wild animals and risk our lives. And we still have 9 free houses, so that's good. All of these are getting put away. Got 74 fruits. Should probably make a bigger farm field for next year. You got 30. What are the other recipes? All right, yeah, you can make shields. I always forget about that. I kind of wish that I could do half of each. But I think what I'm going to do is warhammers. We've got spears. We've got metal spears. I think I'm going to make just a bunch of furniture until we have like a decent surplus, and then I'm going to make shields out of all of the leather that we've got sitting there. Being an orc in a toilet is a busy job. Yeah. So chat, what did you guys get up to this weekend? I didn't do as much as I wanted to do, but there's a world where I would have ended up doing a lot less. It was decently productive for what it was. Oh wow, it's just a bunch of that over there. That was not what I intended to do, but here we are. You upgraded your Amiga 1200. I love how that's a thing that people are still doing in the current year. It's like the one time I ran into somebody in my chat who was way into typewriters and was like just going on and on and on about typewriters. Or I don't know if anybody here watches Techmoan, but he put out a video recently on music cylinders? Like Edison's cylinders, like the wax cylinders, like the 3-minute long things, and then kind of deep dove into like pre-1950 free jazz scene and like the people who collect cylinders. Like, I don't know, that was a neat rabbit hole that he fell down briefly. I like me a Techmoan video. This is just slightly off, which is kind of funny. I screwed it up, chat. Please don't hate me as much as you currently do. Hold up. They put out a new Trials game? What? Oh, Trails, not Trials. I shouldn't misread what you said. I got excited for a second there. I was like, there's no way that Ubisoft is releasing a new Trials game in the current year. How is that possible? Trails is in like the JRPGs, right? You read 3 books. Those were either really short books or you read really quickly. Should be through the ads mostly. I don't think I'm good enough at this game, Dragon T, to really have a goal in particular. I feel like you need to kind of know what you're doing to be able to set functional goals. And I'm certainly not at that point. Yeah, I mean, I usually just try to have more population than I had the last time I played. That's usually my goal. Maybe that's a bit boring, but 23 more people. I don't have the housing for that. Once those houses are done, we'll bring these in. We do have 6 days worth of food, so it's pretty good for the moment. That's almost done. That's getting there. Activate that job. Because currently I don't really have any food supply or income of food, so that is all the food we have. Yeah, let's wait until around halfway through spring. Reclaimer book series? Neat. I hate doing anything other than crafting and mining, especially hate farm. Wait. Oh, we're talking about dwarves in this game, right? Starting as the dwarves, I think, is very difficult. Dwarves are like... the most success I've had with dwarves in this game is bringing them in mid-late game as like an additional population to whatever I already have set, and then specializing them in just being underground and farming, and not farming and just like mining. Basically, like, they don't like collecting food. They just want to be underground in the dark and dig, which is like very dwarfy and honestly quite in character, but like it's just not easy at all to start as them. I've done it before and I've pulled it off, but that was also in an older version of the game, so some things have changed. What was the other thing I needed? Okay, so I could let's just slow down time here real quick and figure out what I should be building next. Yeah, so like if you look at the little face icons, it shows you like whether or not the people that you're currently playing as would enjoy that task. Like the orcs don't really like carpentry, but we kind of need it. It's like a means to an end. So the people working in the carpenter will be upset, just kind of by default, and it's going to be up to me to compensate for them being upset and make them happier with their pathetic existence, if that makes any sense. So like that sort of thing. Just build a bigger fruit farm. This area seems to have decent moisture in it. Oopsies, that is not at all what I wanted. Stick to Eclipse. It's like actually kind of hard to click and drag with these. I'm gonna get rid of these corners because I'm not a fan of those. That'll do it. Right next to the mass grave. Perfect. Basically, like, the orcs enjoy all of the skills necessary to get you through the early game. The humans are, like, kind of neutral there. The elves are pretty similar in their ease of getting through the early game, in my experience, except they also hate everybody. So it's hard to get past just having elves. And they also, on top of hating everybody, mostly want to eat meat. So instead of starting on farming, you start with animal husbandry. But they're also like very good at forestry. So like you start off with really big forests and a lot of furniture construction and like a lot of like livestock pastures. And I think that actually playing as the elves is quite enjoyable in the time that I've done it. I kind of want to avoid mining right off the bat. What do you do? That makes paper. could do a weaver. But we're probably going to end up with, like, humans and orcs. I can't... Chat, remind me here. Do the orcs hate the humans and vice versa? I know that the humans kind of aren't a fan of anybody, really, but... So that produces meats. And more livestock. Although I think I could also set you to produce... Oh, you're the one that produces leather. I mean, food variety is good, so. Let's just do like a... something like this. So, Pink Prime, I need to name you a toilet. I can do that. Actually, do those just increase efficiency? Yeah, they just increase efficiency. So I want it to go up to 75 with one. I kind of don't like the way that looks. I'm just going to do the square ones. There you go. You're right there. Your number, Pink Primeval. Everybody hates the insects. I mean, they are the bugs in the game. Is it these guys? The Garthimius? They love death and destruction. Yeah, they also breed really quickly and don't have a lot of, like, real cares in the world. Got one day worth of food left. I'm actually amazed they're as happy with me right now as they are. Holy shit. So, like, everybody's working here. Everybody's working in the wood chopper. Well, good news is we're producing a lot more wood than we are using, so I should be able to go to access and just be like, oi, nerds. Take a little bit more of that. Kind of amazed. That this supposed surplus of furniture I have hasn't been... Oh, there we go. Now it's all getting moved. I was going to say, I'm kind of amazed they haven't done that. Because they do that automatically without you having to do it, but, like... In this here instance, they seemed a little bit slow to get to it. A little bit slow on the punch. Experience gains. We now employ over 50 woodcutters. You don't say! As a result, the combined experience is boosting performance and will continue to increase up to 1,000 employees. Build a market. Is it market or like the food provider thing that you have to make first? Food stall and market, so both of those things. I can never remember which way is forwards. Just a nice little market right there. What's up, Tygel? I am not sorry. I mean, you did it. So why would you be sorry? If you didn't want it, then don't do it. All right, so there's the food stalls, and now... market. We're talking about Flea Market Montgomery, obviously. These are also another thing that I never know how big to make them, so I'm probably doing it wrong. But, you know. Let's do it that way. Feels a little better to do it that way. And then there's also like the secret super speed. So like there's normal speed, which is like screensaver, right? There's middle speed, which is like normal speed. And then there's fast, which is pretty fast. And then there's fuck you, which is just even faster. That's the I'm tired of waiting speed, which almost feels like a dev tool. This is a game that like you'll probably bounce off the first few times you try. At least that's been my experience pretty consistently. Is the first few times I try it, I bounce off of it. Yeah, okay, so I built this backwards from the way I wanted to actually build it, but... I'm just gonna place you there. And just get rid of this one. So I have no food left. Which is always a good sign. Where are we? Okay, well, you're not done yet. Let's lower down some of these workers, just so that we have more odd jobbers to get things done. And let's go down to here. Maybe not you. What else do we have around? These guys. These things. Hunt! Let's go hunt that. I don't know what these are, but let's go hunt them. They'll give us something. Because currently we're just out of food. I do think, like, tutorialization is a problem in a game like this. Oh, no! Anyways. My wood production has gone down because I don't have enough people working. The game is informing me of this. Getting this up and running. That'll slowly start getting us a little stipend of meats, which will give us a little bit of food variety. I may actually just turn this whole area into a fruit farm once this one's up and running. But I need fruits first. I now no longer have the housing supply. What do you guys think of the little kind of town center thingy over here that I built? Just those little warehouses. I quite like that look. If I can repurpose those buildings for other zones, I think that could be pretty nice. I mean, those are the elves. I'm pretty sure it's like the elves and the bugs, right? Or like the bugs just kind of don't care. They just want food supply. And so because they breed so quickly, it's easier just to feed them to themselves. I'm pretty sure it's the bugs. Would be very bug-like. Whereas the orcs are vegetarians, specifically. Currently, we've got 0 days of food supplies stored up. That's not what I wanted. Slow down. Okay, so that's like in the 50s. I need the darker color. That's a fruit orchard. I want fruit farm. Bugs me that it closes that menu when I go to check the moisture, and it doesn't tell me the moisture until I've like confirmed it. It's like, just fucking tell me the moisture. So this fruit farm down here might actually be a bit too far away for them to make the trip to commute. Look at these orcs wanting a short commute. Some needy sons of bitches. Just don't like the tiny little divots at the end of that. Clearly just not enough food. That's producing a very small amount of meat for the moment. Just cleared through everything that we ate, or that I killed very quickly. Not a lot of livestock around. Hunt! There we go. That'll help. And so then you'll see a person probably running over there. There you go. Tiny little dot runs along the map. There you are. Got one. I think elves are into cannibalism because everybody needs to be unique. I mean, they also hate everybody, so it kind of makes sense. Like, if you think about it in the, like, how that group acts in this game, like, it kind of, I don't know, it checks out. They're much eviler in this game than they are in Dwarf Fortress. They're like the industry isolationists. We'll just eat you if you, we'll use you as a food source if you live here. People. Forest consumes all. You're not wrong, actually. Forest uses everything and consumes. Okay, so something I do need to do is I need to make a janitor. Janitor is a small building. What repairs things? Just want flat walls along in here. The janitor is building maintenance, so they maintain the building. Buildings around it. Pretty critical if you want your city to not fall apart. Okay, you've been around this channel long enough, Anander, to know that I just want to throw up if we're just sitting here talking about cannibals. Please don't be that guy. Like, it doesn't need to be brought up every 90 seconds, especially considering I'm not even playing that race. You know? Like, no shit. Thanks, Captain Jackass. We don't need this. Let's not be that. Let's just play this for what I'm playing. And the parts that I'm playing. And not the part that I'm ignoring. So chat. Tell our lovely friend Anander that we love them, and please give me a round of beers so I don't need to read the shit that's in my chat right now. And let's talk about anything else about this game. You know? I mean, heck, I would rather talk about exterminating Anander, or all of another faction in this game, than cannibalism. There is a reason I avoid it in every video game when I have the option. Sure, once they finish building it, 409. Do you have a particular name you want for it, or am I just naming it 409? 1,000 new weapons? Fuck if I know. I haven't used any of them. I don't even know what's new, to be honest with you. Chat might be able to tell you, though. I'll do that. If you think of something else, let me know. But yeah, I have absolutely no idea what's new for weapons. I know that they made the combat supposedly less clunky, but I don't trust it. I have pacifism all the way up, and I have likelihood of raids all the way down. Which probably is how I'm going to play this game forever, but we'll see. Maybe one day this game will convince me to play it another way, but not anytime soon. I don't see myself doing that. There is also the reason that I just haven't actually gotten deep enough since the last update to get to that point. But yeah, there is a skirmish option on the main menu now if you want to practice the combat, which is good instead of spending like, 25 plus hours on one city and then it just getting wrecked by a bunch of bandits. It's very weird to me that the throne room doesn't have any flooring by default. Like it's just a dirt floor. There we go. We're starting to get a little city. It's starting to feel like a little city. Uninteresting, tedious? Tedious. At least that's how I always found it. Because like the combat you fight with your population, and I think like the off-site battles were always interesting, but like extremely unpredictable because like there wasn't a lot of agency from the player early on in the game's development. But as the game's developed, it's gotten better. But like there was a period of time there where it really felt that you got, or at least I felt that I would get to a point where the only option I have left is murder everything. And the game really felt like it was just pushing me into one singular playstyle, which actually stopped me from playing this game for quite a good chunk of time. Because I like having options, I guess, and being able to play a game in different ways. And it's like, no, like in order to get any further, you have to kill everybody here now. And I find that kind of sucks. So my main issue with the combat is there isn't alternatives to the combat. Because I will always learn the alternative first and then go into the main form of fighting, if that makes sense. Like, I want to learn the alternative first. But it never felt like it let me learn that alternative. Bastet, thanks for the raid. Jack, can I get a round of beers for the Raiders? Or just a couple? Zalvi, what up? You get depressed, your city is ugly as fuck? Yeah, I think building a suboptimal city is easier to make it look nice, but that's just me talking. Okay, so we're still super duper 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 low on food. I should just like not bring in food until like all of these have had a harvest, because they're currently cycling on those and we're heading into autumn. Is there any veggie deposits on the surface up here? There's fruits over there. Herbs up there. Yeah, I'm not seeing any veggies. Oh, nope, there's some veggies. Should get those harvested. I think it's forage, right? And then hunt. It's these bird things. Well, nice knowing you. See you again, never, Zalvi. Thanks for saying hi, though. Hope you have a good sleeps and lurks. I wonder if I'm overcompensating on these trees. They just always go on about wanting lots of trees around, so... It's a quaint-looking village, aside from the fact that we have no food. Aside from that fact, like, it's honestly quite nice here. Trade. No. Export. That's what I want. Miss you, Zalvi. Hang out with us, Zalvi. Don't give up on us. Gonna make 2 export depots and an import depot. I mean, it looks better than the last town I made. So there's that. Also have a lot of unemployed people, so I think I'm just gonna make a weep. Actually, fuck it, let's make some benches first. Slow down speed. So that's what, 3 and 3? Yeah, we got tons of that. 2 and 2. I'm trying to just make like an expandable template of like not terribleness. Because then I could like basically copy this entire center region, plop it and move it somewhere else. Are they inaccessible? What's the issue? Oh, am I out of stone again? Yes, I am. Clear! Rock. There's a bunch of rock, but it's all over there. Well, it's going to be a lean winter. Although we did get a little bit of meat just now because they are butchering all of them birds. Moving them into here, which something. It's not great, but it's something. Now we just need to hope that next year we'll actually have enough, you know, to get all these farms functional. How am I planting trees? By typing in tree to the search bar? Yeah, it's... decorations? Yes. There's also, like, fences if you want to, like, keep people out of certain areas. Because I know that they'll, like, trample farms and things. Which are actually pretty useful. What else can I make at the moment? What the heck does a gatehouse do? Gatehouse, let your subject pass freely while holding off enemies. Okay, so it's strictly like a wall gate. Too much more I can do at the moment, aside from just like hang in there until I have the population. They're vegetarians, yeah. No, they prefer to eat a wide variety of vegetables, but also like some meat in their diet. I mean, you could try and run them as vegan, but they would never be fully satisfied or happy with you. Copy area. Click and drag. I'm gonna have to move the mass grave because I don't think they like that. I want to say mass graves are ugly, but I could be wrong. We're in an ad break, so I will pause the game. I don't know if they don't dislike meat, because like if you look at their requests, they will be unsatisfied if there's no meat. They just don't want to only eat meat, you know? They want a little bit of like fruits and vegetables next to their meat. They like a balanced diet. What is this game this year at 420 in YouTube chat? This is Songs of Six. It is a very large-scale city builder. They have problems with eggs? No, but I don't have any source of eggs, so. I mean, like, we've survived multiple winters now just hunting. Like, when it becomes winter time and my food supplies are dwindling, I literally just tell them to go hunt stuff, and that's just meat. I mean, it's very obvious, actually, by the amount of leather that I have right now, which is a lot, actually. I've got like 400 leather. But I was going to make some shields and export them. Because currently I have 122 furniture. So I'm going to swap this out actually. And use up my leather supply. And make shields, which I'm presuming are down here. How you doing, Red Dog? No, I think the rule of thumb with these, like the orcs or the pig people, is just make sure you have a variety of food. That is, I think, the main need in my experience with time spent playing this game. Is just make sure they have a variety of food. As long as they have a variety, you're probably okay. Okay, so you right here. Import. Let's export. I'm gonna export shields. Currently they're paying 244, so I'm gonna say that my price cap is gonna be 200. Or price minimum? The minimum price that you're willing to settle for, yes. That's not what I wanted. Let's go for closest. Just gonna start moving those down as they get produced. Yeah, the lizards are one of the easy starts, if I'm not mistaken. But they're like the start that you do if you want to do combat. Or the easy start for combat, I guess. I'm actually just gonna get rid of this mass grave and move it. Because I just feel like mass graves are ugly and nobody wants to live near them. But I could also be very wrong. I'm sure somebody likes them. Somebody's like, oh, hell yeah, graveyard. Let's live there. I don't even want to live near a graveyard in real life. Let alone a mass grave in a video game that is specifically awful to live in. I'm actually really curious to see if this will just export, because I think it will. But I always need to fiddle with this before I figure it out for sure. If our money starts going up, then it's exporting. Otherwise, So we'll see. I may need to actually make a trade agreement, but I think you just get worse prices if you don't have a trade agreement. So I got no food, and it is now winter. Woo. I'm sure this will go just fine, right? Let's go murder all the all the random wild animals, if there are any. Well, there's none over there. How about here? Okay, there's a little herd of them here. There's two of these. Yeah. So we're gonna survive another winter off of nothing but meat. Well, in order to bake grain, I would need a stove, and it would also need to be in season. It's not in season. So I would need to basically make a bakery, which requires coal or wood. But then I would be farming that instead. Like, I think right now, the better priority is to just do this, because that's not going to produce a ton of food. Like, getting fruits and vegetables up and running, I think, for me, are what I'm going to focus on for the moment. That's kind of just like, pick a production chain and go in that direction. Right now, the production chain I've chosen is fruits and vegetables farming, or you could just go straight into baking. But grain in and of itself, I don't think is edible. It might be. But we should be in a much better place by the end of this year because unavailable livestock? Do I just not have livestock? I thought I had livestock. Suppose not. I've got 89 shields. Yeah, it's an extra step, so. Grain is a more complicated production chain than from where we're at. I mean, why can't you share them with me? I grow chili peppers too, you know that, right, Amber? I started my shishitos and fire chilies and arapajos and Hungarian hot wax over the last 2 weeks. You can share them with me too. Hobo isn't the only pepper fiend in the Discord. Although I usually just make them into hot sauce and not much else. It's gonna be a lot of tasks, but I'm sure they'll do it. It's called Yucky Blue. Not something I'm familiar with, that's for sure. Let me just grab one of you. Plunk you down here. That'll just be for unprocessed fruits and veggies. Okay, so let's see what I can do in the overworld. Where am I? Down here. Okay, so we got orcs over here. Sure, you're probably reasonable, right? Declare war. Yeah. I just would like a trade agreement. They need to have a much higher opinion of me. Question is, how do I make you not hate me? Here, I'll just give you 20 shields. And I won't declare war on you. Only Vexus in range currently? Then why? No, they're not. What are you talking about? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's the only one that has a little line connecting. But, like, doesn't this imply that I can trade with them? That's funny. I will give you chairs. There we go. 52 chairs in exchange for... Actually, let's do 52 chairs and some shields. You need to control Baxter for that. Well, that's a goal. Let's take over them. Yeah, I thought that that would imply that I could trade with these guys as well, but I don't know. Makes sense. I must control the ports of my region. It's a goal. Could probably just buy them. Alright, so now that I've done that, we've also got food again. So it looks like they're just trading now, yeah. So that just goes that way. And then goes north. Yeah, see, we're just selling shields now. And now we've got money. So now I've got money. I can import stuff. And I'm gonna import fruit. Wonder if there's a way to extend the number of days per season per year. You want the game to be slower? I mean, you could just run it slower, unless you want, like, longer harvest seasons and stuff. That seems like the sort of thing you would need mods for. I think probably the course of action is to just import fruit until I have, like, a stable farming industry. Oh, interesting. But it still doesn't actually tell me how good the fertilization is here. I love finding buttons I didn't know existed. It's certainly a feeling of all time. Because that's like in the 70s and 60s. It's not great, but... Just trying to get all of these fully farmed out. Because right now I have no, like, fruits. So I can't actually fill these up. So what's going to happen is when the harvest season happens, these are just going to get filled up, and it's going to eat through all of my food supply. And then I'm not going to have any food supply again. So if I'm able to import, like, some food, or some, you know, goods, then I should be able to, you know, make up for it. But I also need the extra hands, so let's bring in the extra hands. New level unlocked. I've got training grounds, army supply depots, and stockades. Let's start off by making a stockade. I like how there's stockades, but also stockades. Does anybody know the difference between stockades and stockades? Aside from that, they're not the stockades, they're the stockades. I find that a little bit confusing. Not gonna lie, I kinda do. This is also copying the roads, which is kinda nifty. And then, oops, and then you down here. Let's just get rid of all this. Okay, and then you are just going to be fruit and vegetables. And grain whenever we, well, grain if and when. But outside of modding, I don't think there's a vanilla way to do that, Anander. I just want to say a real quick thank you to anybody who's tuning in. If you do have questions about this game, assuming it's not specifically about combat, I can probably help. This is a game that I've played off and on since its initial release. The way I'm building buildings is I'm just holding control and then basically copying them automatically, but the copy tool gives you a little bit more flexibility on that by doing stuff like this than being able to plop it down. So I'm using it to like increase the niceness of the area instead of just, you know, the baseline value. Like I can hold shift here and then just copy this well, move it down here, give them a well down in this region as well. See what I did there? Same with this. And that way I don't need to remember to go from place to 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 remake everything. Did I ever select a place that I'm importing from? They've just got an army right outside of my base. Well, that's lovely. Great. Thankfully, they're neutral, but still. Not super thrilled on that. Although I guess I am sort of arming them. There is that. Also, at this point, chat, we're not streaming Dwarf Fort. When I don't stream Dwarf Fort, interaction's always lower. Less people tune in, chat gets quieter. Anything you can do to help the chat keep moving by, you know, providing conversation is greatly appreciated in days like today. And weeks like this, as we'll probably be mostly doing this and amongst other things this week. So if you like variety, help the chat move, because otherwise I feel like I'm not doing my job very well. First one, I think, is the building where the guards live, and the second one is the walls. Well, one of them well, I mean, when it comes to military, it's like one of them trains them. One of them is where you put people who break the law. Yeah, like the supply is where you store their stuff. Training is where they learn. And then stockade is, like, where you hold criminals. So you beat the shit out of them and you stick them in there. Is there an end game to this game? I don't know. I've never seen it. If there is one, I've never seen it. There is, like, loose goals. Like, the further you get, like, you get little, not unlocks, but, like, you get perks for your next city. Theoretically, I have very few of them, but... This is also a game that's, like, changed pretty categorically a few times. Yeah, that's why I like I don't mind the sieges off screen, like auto battling it. I'm kind of fine with it. It's when it's specifically like the in the city stuff that it kind of bugs me. Just try and keep you in line. Or I could just plunk you down right there. And also you are out of leathers. So we're going to go back to just making furniture. It's the in your own city combat that makes me shy away from the combat, but well, you know, we'll end up doing combat. It's just not going to be my priority when I have the option to not. That's the asterisk there. Oh, so this does not seem to be functional. Faction in all the territory joins you in your own territory. Wonder what I need to offer them. Like, how much of a resource would I need to give them for them to be like, yeah, we'll do that. It's like probably like literally everything I have, hey? It's like, join me. No. Okay, fine. Because they don't seem to be great for trading so far anyway. Hover over unite on the right column? Yeah, but like then you have to barter it, right? Because like you say unite, yes. Asking for that. It's like, yeah, 14.2 million. Might as well not exist. Might as well not be an option. Well, I guess they know their worth. Should give them credit for that. Okay, you're gonna produce 93, 72. I'm gonna have to irrigate this area, aren't I? And then you. Where's the button? There it is. Going to export furniture. Because I exported all of my shields. And I'm about to have, you know, an extra thing for more furniture production. Oh, no, I don't want you doing that. Especially considering I literally have none. Yeah, I've got -2 leather. Although I could get you making wooden and stone spears or wooden and stone warhammers. Not that I have an unlimited supply of stone, but I do have stone. So let's do that once we get the research for it. So I guess laboratory is probably what I need next then, eh? It's actually just food is what I need next. What, like knowing a little bit, having more up-to-date information than me? The majority of the time that I spent playing this game was in like the first year of its early access, and admittedly it was a pretty different game back then. There is also like I actually haven't ever clicked on the button, but there's a campaign option. I don't know how much additional variety that provides, but there being a campaign option for this game is also actually kind of intriguing as like a future prospect. But like I said, I've got no idea what that entails at the moment. We've got surface ore deposits over there. There's also herbs. Those are pretty valuable if I recall correctly. Could also make a bakery for seasonal stuff. No work within radius. You trying to tell me that there's no furniture within radius? Because there definitely is. I mean, there's furniture up here and furniture down there. None of my people are claiming it. Well, you've got 10 now. They figured it out. Maybe I just need 2 people working here. Maybe 3. 5. We'll do 5. You don't seem to need anybody working here. Oh, looks like we've got 64 fruit incoming. Well, that's good. Somebody sold us some fruit. 59, because some of it got eaten already, probably. Immediately down to 20. Yeah, because that's going to get distributed to over here. Because it is fruit season now. So next year we'll have all of these nice big fruit farmers up and running. Thankfully, it seems that our furniture industry is more lucrative than the shield industry because we powered through the shields real quick. So my money is actually going up and down. If I actually click on this, you can, like, that's what we made off the shields initially, and now this is what we're making off of furniture. So that's good. But we have imported fruit off of our money. And we've got another, what, coming in probably? Nothing currently incoming. But it's a little bump, which is what we need. So now we can get this stuff planted for next year. We got 375. 370. We got 4 days worth of fruit. It's not much. Is there any live animals, wildebeests, bears, lions, and tigers that I can munch on, or have we exterminated every single live species out here? I think most of them. I should probably actually make a hunter soon. That'll do something. You know, it's funny that we're referring to this game as something that needs more time in the oven, because it genuinely does, but at the same time, like, the game that we were playing earlier is like, hasn't even been put in the oven if this game needs more time in the oven. Like, if this needs more time in the oven, then the game that I was playing earlier today, like, hasn't even been put in the oven yet. Like, they haven't even researched the oven, or, like, found the budget for the oven. That's a little mean, but... we're just like, what's an oven? Yeah, I know you mean the combat. The combat's always been like one of the, not like the last thought. That's like the word, a bad way to put it, but like not the primary focus from what I've seen of this game. Vegetables are going to take a little while to get stocked up too. Actually, I could just import veggies. That's probably a wiser thing to do. How much are veggies? Could also import rations, which are much more expensive, but... where is mine? There it is in stockpile. So you can see like that little line there. That's the percentage that I'm willing to import. Only the tutorials are in the campaign menu right now, you believe? Fair enough. Good to know. The music is from the game, yeah. I basically just listen to the game soundtracks, unless the game soundtrack gets content ID'd. Like, chat being all like, yeah, they don't eat meat. I mean, depends on how hungry they are, I think. That's actually really funny to me, for some reason. For some reason, I find that really funny. Meanwhile, they're just like hauling mountains of these things over here. Cotton farm. Something else that I need. And moisture's pretty high. It's 97%. Just gonna quietly get this running in the background, because now we actually have a food supply. Got 8 days worth of food. I could bring in more people. We do have the space. I mean, I could also just let them in automatically, but that would maybe not be that wise. We should probably get through the winter first. Let's slow down time just to the base speed during the ad break, which is happening at the moment. The orcs are just like happy village people, more or less. Like, they don't like doing anything that's too thinky. They're not very smart. They're not good at research, or like libraries or any of that sort of thing. They're not great at combat, but they're really good at supplying you with large sums of food quickly and consistently. And they don't mind doing most of the base labors in this game. I think I just like playing them the most because they're the most straightforward in my general play style. You messed up your carpentry shop once and added a new room and it took down a wall. Oh no! Yeah, I do have that happen sometimes where like I accidentally like break something on a building and then it takes me like an embarrassingly long amount of time to actually figure out what I broke. Also, YouTube folks, don't forget to leave a like on the stream, hey? Don't forget to leave a like. I don't think I've actually asked YouTube to leave a like on the stream in like weeks. True story. Started not long ago and you were watching my old videos. When was the last time I played it? 2 weeks ago. On a Friday. Seriously, 2 weeks ago was when I last played this. Yeah, I don't know. I always feel like whenever like a new patch is announced, Cheese Enjoyer, I'm like, it's time to play this again, and then I never do. It's always like, and then he announces the next thing. I'm like, I'll just wait for the next thing. And I'm like, I'll just wait for the next thing. And I'm like, I'll just wait for the next thing. It's like the perpetual procrastination of playing and learning or relearning something, either for the first time or for the 15th time. Either or. But yeah, I don't know. I like this game. I've played it for on and off for a very long time, but it's never grabbed me enough that I've stuck with it for incredibly extended periods of time, if that makes any sense. Let's just power through fall and then winter, and then once we hit spring, we'll bring in another round of peoples. Because they want 59. Good lord, 60? It's an eclipse. An eclipse has arrived, plunging 6 into total darkness for a while. Your populace is wondering if this is the final darkness that the Sumerians spoke of. Your subjects fervently try to pray the problem away, or failing that, will drink themselves into a stupor. So they consume more booze if it's available. Thankfully, we have no booze available, so can't drink yourselves into a stupor if there's no alcohol. You're just playing the demo? Yeah, that's fair. I mean, this is maybe one of the fairest demos I've seen. Like, I feel like you have to be a very brave developer. Like, Chad, actually, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. I wonder if the lighting is turned down, because it seems like it is. I'm really curious on your guys' thoughts here on this, because I personally find that that's just the best way to do a demo, is just, I feel like the lighting used to be more pronounced, or am I going crazy? But I feel like the best way to do a demo on Steam, especially if you're an early access game, is to just offer an older version. But I feel like a lot of developers are scared that they'll lose sales. I think having a demo will just lose you sales, personally. Like, demos are actually not great. Unless you're the one game that goes viral, it's just consistently very difficult. We're going to bring in 66 new people right now at the beginning of winter because, aside from housing, we're more or less good. Copy area. Let's just do this. Thunk. Where did I put those farms in? There they are. I can't even remember what I named it. I had like 4 different puns in my head. Because the demo hooked you in? Yeah, but how many did you not buy because the demo didn't hook you in? I'll say this. Demos require a fuck ton of time to make. And making a good demo for a lot of games is very difficult. Especially a game like this. Like, what could you do for a proper demo? Like, actually, like a traditional demo for a game like this? You just offer less in the way of the tech tree. And then you don't get an actual decent experience of the game. You just kind of get like a half experience of the game, if that makes any sense. However, that's why I think it's a good idea to simply offer the whole game, just an older version of it as the demo, because then what do you need to do development-wise? People, as long as they're aware they're getting an older version and the newer version will be more developed, I feel like that is just a much better way to do the demo, because then you don't need to spend X number of months a year making a demo and updating your demo. You don't need to put development time into managing parity with your demo in the main version. Like, it's literally less work. I mean, assuming it's not an old enough version that, like, you know, OSs are still supported and whatnot, but That's all I'm trying to say. Like, I do think that demos are not necessarily a good thing for the developer in a lot of cases, purely due to the amount of time that demos take to maintain. But that's a different discussion. Oh no, somebody crimed. Chat, they're doing crimes. I don't know what to do. I should make a stockade, actually, is what I should do. Is it literally just like a room? Huh. For some reason I thought there was a lot more to a stockade. It's too thin in places. Oh, I see. Easy peasy, I guess. All developers should aim to make one ahead of / during gold launch, which is largely got supplemented by Kickstarter and early access marketplace culture. I think that the worst thing to happen to indie game development actually is Steam Next Fests, because the algorithmification, I don't know, of Steam is not a good thing. And I like Steam. I think Steam's great. Most of my games I own through Steam. However, I don't think that it being hyper algorithm driven, similar to YouTube, is a good thing for the health of the industry long term. I don't actually think that's a good thing. In fact, I would say I think it's kind of a negative. Because everything just being algorithmically driven means that people are more likely to make something that, you know, is like designed to be popular and not an interesting idea. That's why everything is a run-based city builder auto battler with a card game element. It just means that you're going to have a lot of very similar things, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I just don't think it's the ideal. How much of a mood boost am I getting from the round rooms? 100% currently. Where's the actual roundness? 72% is the current boost I'm getting. Although currently they're losing some satisfyingness. I guess this isn't round enough. Is there a roundness stat listed on this somewhere? I don't recall those buttons being there, but where's the actual roundness stat? Plays. Is it on here? Maybe it's not. Remember demo discs? Demo discs were a very different era, though. That was like closer to the era of shareware. That was where you had to like mail somebody a check to buy a video game. Okay, so you've got a bunch of that in it. I'm gonna swap you. Man, can't I just... Oh man, that sucks that I can't. From fabric or leather? Okay, so let me see if I can do this. I want to try something. Let's pause game. Oopsies. That. So basically what I want to do is I would like to plop you there, and I would like to plop you here. But I want to remove the actual inner of this room. And then set you as a... Also need to move the doors. But... There we go. Okay, so let's just go up to here and go punk, punk. And then do this. Cool. So now that I've done that, I think I also screwed this shape of this one up, but that's fine. I can just get rid of this one anyway. I don't need two of these. Then you are going to be a weaver. The thing is, I don't think that this actually has roofs set here for the moment. Expand room can... I don't think I've ever tried to do this, at least not since all this stuff was remade. Interesting. Okay, no, I don't want that. Let's just do this. Okay, so now that I've done that, I can now make looms. All right, that works. Can I make this into a square? Nope. And that'll give me 100% capacity. Yeah, the maintenance costs. It also depends on the foundation that it's on. Like if it's on mud, don't they cave in quicker? Yeah, I don't think this game has added music since it released onto itch initially. Travenoid. But the music that is here is lovely. I agree. So I need to put that one further up. Like right there, basically. That should do her. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. All right. I got warehouse. The sedimentary of the central workshops is killing you. That's why I'm trying to fix it. And if it's killing you, how are you still breathing and typing? It's crazy. Must be like lead poisoning where it takes a long time to set in. Hopefully the symptoms aren't too harsh as you slowly shrivel up into a pile of pus and mucus on the floor and melt. I wish you a long life with your newly discovered permanent illness. Undead? Oh, that's good. At least you don't have back pain anymore, I would think. They put him in an iron lung. Right. More like, I'm trying to think of like what would have like a fantasy equivalent of an iron lung, but just a brain be. They put him in a jar. You look like Walt Disney now. As I slowly continue my cotton farms. This is going to be... It's a weaver, and then that's a tailor. More like bone pain? Bone dispain. Okay, let's just do another copy real quick. Copy! Yeah, it's not gonna work. I'll just do this manually. It's not gonna be that much of a deal. Road. Like cobblestone roads? 50% like. 10%. Okay, so they do like cobblestone, so we should try and research those once that's an option. We've got 17 unused houses right now. Bring in another 15. Do that. We're heading into spring, and we got tons of food supply at the moment, too, which is also good. Foul G, thank you very much for the 30 months, and for the first notification of money in 1 hour. Appreciate you, man. Let's see if I can get one more of those up and running in time for harvest season. Harvest Sizzler. Okay, so you need 256 woods. Getting all that furniture in. You're just a warehouse. You're going to be for cotton and cotton accessories and things relating to cotton. I kind of wish the copying warehouses didn't copy, like, their inventory setups as well. I find that actually a bit annoying, but I think they've always done that. I wish they didn't, but oh well. I'm not going to lose that much sleep over it, just a lot. Just a little bit. Not a lot. And I'm also going to put the additional leathers in there. I didn't intend for that to have a hole in the roof, but I guess it has a hole in the roof. So is that going to be outdoor then? I might have to actually fix that. Yeah. That is my bad. That's what I get for renovating a room and not paying enough attention. There we go. So now they can get that up and running again. I at one point had a ton of blueprints pre-set up, Eric, and then the game changed and updated and they all got deleted. Then I haven't done that again since, but yes, that is true. Your blueprints are saved from city to city. I think our farming is about to explode. I will wait though until we hit like midsummer, or at the very least close. Because currently all I have right now is a few veggies. Food supplies are actually dwindling again. I could make a bakery, which I probably should make. But until I actually have like grain farms, I don't really want to do that. Currently the focus is... You're using leather at the moment? That's okay. I think I'm actually going to swap you to cloth. But I'm aware that I have no cloth. I'm gonna make 10. What's that gonna take? It's gonna take 82. Okay, so you are gonna be cut down to like a much smaller capacity. What's the remove? I must delete tree. Sorry, tree. It's so fucking strange to me that you make trees out of wood. I know that that's like certainly not the weirdest thing about this game, but my god, it weirds the shit out of me. It's like that's not how tree work. Like, by any definition of the word. Do I have an orchard? You can make orchards, and they do produce more than farms for fruits, but they take quite a bit longer to get up and running. Like, it's like 5-6 years, and then it's a slow ramp up or something. I've done them, but like I've never done them off the start. I can't remember the exact numbers. But we're just doing like fruit farms instead of fruit orchards, which are two distinctly different things. So that's currently using 18. But we are producing actually quite a bit of clothing, oddly enough. I'm just gonna swap over to leather clothes for a minute. And just power through all of the leather that I have, which isn't much. And I'm going to go to you. I'm gonna go to access. I'm gonna give them a little bit of furniture. And I'm gonna give them fabric. I'm just gonna let the people take the fabric. And we'll see how much that ends up eating. Because they will take it. And I want to see what the decrease is compared to the input. Then the other thing I need to do is I really need to make a lab. I've been kind of putting it off, but... But if I get the lab, there is a there's a technology where you can basically just get like a flat upgrade to the amount of research you can do. Which is super helpful. Let's just do a little bit more of a square, just so I can work on this a little bit more specifically. There we go, let's do that. And that is the tech that I need right now, is I need the ability to, yeah, we'll just do it this way. Bit of wasted space, but I think it looks nice. That'll allow me to, I should also make another one of these down here. It's another little shrine. I mean, it's still rounded. I don't want them to be identical circles. Pink primeval, but you are right. Use squares. Squares gross. You can make diagonals? Today I learned. As in, like, will it cut off the walls? I'll have to look next time I'm making a building. Yeah, you either say the word beer, or you could also use the beer emoji, like the literal base beer emoji. You could also, what's the name of it? There's HS Cheers, which works. That's a default emote. There's actually several different emotes that work, plus a bunch of random like beer emotes from other streamers. But Crypt Burr is the follower one, which is just the MS Paint version. Yeah, also the word beer in various different languages. Obviously not every language because there's a lot of languages and I have a small brain. Right, I forgot about this. It requires clay. All right, well, let's stop importing veggies and instead import clay. Grumble. Time to make all of them clay tablets, I suppose. And that will give me technology. And then I can unlock new roads, weapons, other things, libraries, which I think helps with. Yeah, that helps with innovation, which is separate. There's just the 10, or this is a 16% boost to farming. Herb farms, amongst other things. I think I should just go with that. Although, there's also this. Which is an 8% boost. That's a pretty hefty boost to refining.
Whoa.
I'll also put a bunch of those points into there. All right, so now we've got better farming and better that, and I've also unlocked the guard post. So I've got better farming, I've got better output on crafting. So now we can look and see what the output difference is, and I can regret my decisions. Yeah, we're getting quite a bit more. I mean, these were giving me like 45, they're now giving me in the 60s, which is actually pretty good. We're almost out of food, but thanks, Anander, by the way, for the 2 years. 2 beers for 2 years. Appreciate you. Thanks for continuing to tolerate my bullshit. Unavailable livestock. I guess I should just import more of these. No prisoners. Well, that's good. I should really also make a bakery. Turn all that grain into bread. Yeah, it doesn't let you automatically renew it if that's what you're asking. Cheese enjoyer. It's kind of like a free trial, really, is like the best way to think about Prime. That shouldn't be too loud. We're in an ad break, so I will unpause when the ad is done. Or I will speed the game back up when the ad is done. But for right now, I'm just gonna slowly go through and queue up stuff that needs queuing upping. I consider Prime to be a free trial, yeah. Well, you're certainly a free trial for Pink Prime Evil. They're not even called, they're called Prime Gaming subscriptions now, not even like fucking Twitch Prime subscriptions. But they gave up so many years of meme marketing with that. Yeah, I don't know. Twitch Prime cough gaming subscriptions on Twitch, I consider to just be a free trial for a Twitch sub. It's the best way to think about it. And like, it's an endlessly renewable one. You just have to remember to renew it. Which I think is fair. But it would be nice if that wasn't the case. But it's not the case. Tis what it is. Fair enough, but it's still, you've been around for 2 years to have accumulated such a number. That means something. Okay, let's go back to... Let's grab you. Grab a stage. And get some mighty performances in this grand capital. Now the question is, where the... Do I need this anymore? Nah. I think this is a nice spot for it. Does that increase the capacity? No, it doesn't. It just makes it less square. That'll increase entertainment, which will make people happier-ish, I hopes. As they build out more houses. So I do wonder... Still have cloth left over. Also, that means I can probably go to the tailor because I'm out of leather. So you're going to start just using cloth. So right now you are creating 47, and because of the 7 weavers, we're eating half of it. So I can increase you until you're eating like... Nope, that's too much. I want to be consuming like 30 cloth. It's like my farms right now are producing 37 cotton per year, but we're using up 47 of it, so we're gonna run out of cotton too. So I need to make another one of these. It's a fun little balancing act. Just all of those little spheres. I mean, I own it on GOG and itch and Steam, so I don't need to own it on another platform, but if you can get it for free, go grab it, especially if you can get it through GOG. It is an excellent mech game, if that is your shtick. It is also food harvest season, so let's see what we end up with. Good news is we are actually producing more fruit than we're consuming. At least for the moment. Whereas we're actually consuming more vegetables than we are producing. We've almost caught up on the cotton farms, though, so that's good at the very least. Can I not permit them to just take clothing? Nowhere near enough stages, nowhere near enough hearths, nowhere near enough speakers. They want all of the indoctrinations. Damn it, I'll provide. While you're farming, you'll have somebody yelling at you, and you can grab the rotten stuff from the ground while you're farming and huck it at him if it gets too annoying. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. As we're over here just like harvesting all of this fruit and veg. It doesn't get counted in the inventory though until it's like actually in a stockpile. So it's got a little bit of a ways to go. The only reason I haven't streamed Brigador in a very long time, if anybody's wondering, because you guys are talking a little bit about Brigador behind the scenes, is because I literally 100%ed it. I had to turn on God mode to get some of the harder achievements, but they do allow you to get achievements in God mode, so I respect the heck out of that game for that. So this is now the entertainment area. So now I can throw in more dirt roads into this central zone. And several more trees. See all these in the center? Those are all the rotten veggies they threw at them. I think, like, they might just accept cloths because they're orcs. Because, like, down here it's like... oh, I see. There's clothing. Right, I was just looking at furniture. Duh. Sorry, I had a moment. Certainly, like, overselling my furniture at the moment, too. Let's let them do that. You can have 2 pieces of clothing. 3 pieces of clothing. That doesn't actually increase it by a whole lot. Or is it just while they collect it, I guess? Let's see if we can do that. Two homeless people. Too far away from everything, I suppose. Let's also throw in another well over here. Another well up here. There we go. Okay. Slow down time for a moment. We'll do little apartment blocks, and I mean like little apartment blocks. So we'll do like 2, 2, like that maybe. Like that. Probably just like capacity, I would bet. If there is a difference, I haven't seen it, that's for sure. I'll also just permit a little bit of stone to be put in here because I feel like I keep running out of it. Yeah, let's do that. Or I keep running out of space for it, I guess, because they'll just fill it up again. Okay, I'm also going to stop exporting furniture. I'm instead going to export wood, actually. And then I'm just going to export my grain for the moment. It's just pocket change, really. I want to send 21 more people. I've only got 2 days of food, though. Oh, that's kind of wild. We're actually eating twice the food, twice the fruit than we're producing. So I guess I should keep importing food. I mean, at the moment, I'm just importing that. Let's just import some fruit again so we don't run out. Higher throughput. That's what we need. Well, actually, what I can do is I can go into here and grab basic farming. Hey. Got one more point in it. But I need, once I get 8 innovation again, I can put more points into it. Maybe it was 2 more points, I don't actually know. Man, you got like no moisture. Oh, I see, that's the base, I see. The pigs eat well. I mean, they're orcs. Calling them pigs is kind of mean in my mind, but... because they're orcs. Or Cretonians, if you desire to call them by their proper name. It feels weird calling them pigs, I don't know why. I know that they look like pigs, but like... they're a more civil society than that. They're not billionaires, okay? You like the orcs? They're fun? Yeah. They're like the... It's fun to have a universe where the... So, I haven't been talking for the last few seconds. It kind of looked funny. Someone is just leaning on their horn outside. Like, it's like... meep. Do you think they hit a pole? Oh, speaking of funny sounds, last night it was like 12:30 at night or so, and I'd been sleeping for about an hour, and I just hear and I was like immediately awake because abnormal strange sound you don't hear every day. And peeked out the window and saw somebody's tire like blew up, and their tire was like 3 feet long and completely hanging off the wheel. I don't know what the fuck they did or how that even happens, but like the tire was not on the wheel anymore. It was like stretched behind the car. Like they didn't hit anything, like their tire just went pop. They were looking like pigs too. Yeah, it's certainly a fantasy trope. It's just not the Tolkien fantasy trope, I guess. Which isn't to say that it's, you know, incorrect or anything. It's just, it's a different I like variety. Variety, good. I'm also gonna build another one of these. Tolkien's orcs are like the equivalent of like a Nazi in Wolfenstein. You know, they're just generic bad guy, exist for being whacked. And every universe needs that to a degree. I really need to get to the point where I have like... oh wow, am I actually like... are we... just exporting this? Hauling it at ADD. Kind of amazed. We're making plus 10, minus 2. Like, we should be in the positive for furniture. That's kind of nuts. Oh yeah, no, I mean, it is much more interesting to have a nuanced bad guy, but I'm not going to I'm not going to complain. Hold up. Takes a long time to get productive and is sensitive to lack of labor and events and produces more than farms of the same size after the investment. And they're less reliant on fertility. Could just bankrupt myself and build a big-ass orchard. But then you need to, like, queue up the trees. I wonder if renovating this would, like, knock down all the trees. Regardless, I should suspend this until spring. Okay, that's gonna not annoy me, but we'll do it this way. So it's like several distinct places. Let's try that. Well, it's usually because the roads, all they need to do is, like, stand in a place and complete task. For a bakery or a shop, usually they have to move furniture there. That's, like, the majority of that. The reason for that. What's up? How's the game so far? I mean, I've played this game on and off since it launched into early access. It's been pretty chill. Chat, how's the game so far? You guys enjoying this one? You can research without clay clicking on the clay icon in the lab, can you? If usage is enabled, employees produce 2x as much. Oh, I see. So wait, is it disabled now? I mean, I don't have any clay, so it is disabled. It's just... But no, I mean, this is just a big city builder, so we're just building a vibey city and kind of hanging out. It's been pretty chill so far. Okay, so I am going to suspend this. And I'm going to increase the amount of fruit that I'm importing. And I'm also going to bring in more orcs. And we now have a bunch of homeless orcs again. Gosh darn homeless orcs. I'm telling you. They're killing me. I'm gonna bankrupt this city one orc at a time. Sure, yeah, I will, but I can't really guarantee that I can keep track of them. Or that they won't just die mysteriously for no real known reason. So if you redeem the thing, I will name them. I will also name a building or whatever. The redemption is available, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Let's just plunk. What would you like to name? Would you like to name a duder or would you like to name a building? I'd say you're less likely to get randomly unalived if you name a building. I don't know. I really liked the, like, mechanic that they had where it was just if you had paper, then you had research. I found that to be a super interesting mechanic, and I'm kind of bummed out that it's, like, more varied than that now. But and also, like, you know, not going to lose sleep over it. I'm over it at this point. I just do kind of miss when that was the only system there because it was just a lot easier to understand. Just waiting for everybody to actually have access to clothes. Just lower the allotment there. Let's also lower the allotment there. And increase it on wood to compensate. As far as services goes, I don't have a tavern. I don't even think... Do I even have the research for that? Yeah, I don't have the research for that. As long as it's something I have. I could give you, like, if you want something entertainment focused, I could give you a stage. I could give you the laboratory. Yeah, I can't do a tavern because I don't have the industry for that. Because you need, like, pottery, you need brewing, you need the supplies to make alcohol, you need a source of alcohol, and you need, like, all of the input-output for that, which I'm very far away from. Where do they eat? They acquire food at the market, and then they eat wherever they're standing. So there's food stalls. That's what they got. Speaking of those, I should probably make another one of those. So I can give you a food stall if you'd like. Stage? Okay. Am I naming it the Cheese Enjoyer stage, or am I naming it something else? Market of Cheese Enjoyer? There you go. Go with the Cheese Enjoyer Market if that works for you. Currently, you have a supply of fruits, meats, and that's about it. It's like half of a charcuterie board. Just exporting wood. I can do better than that. Out of grain. Not out of grain yet, but running low on grain for exporting. Why do I always lose this button? There we go. Workload is low. Insufficient workers. Now workload is low. Make up your mind. There's a giant podcast, the interview of Razor and The Verge, where the interviewer is just absolutely wrecks the CEO over their coming AI products, and the CEO keeps saying, "We just listen to the gamers." And the interview is like, "Gamers would not be more clear that they don't want this crap." Yeah, no, I agree. I actually... That's one of my personal pastimes at this point, is just watching CEOs get heckled by sane people. I'm going to fix my green screen. Can't wait for complaints of no cheese. I don't think there's cheese in this game, is there? Except for maybe like pocket cheese, like pocket lint kind of deal. Okay. activate. We've also got all this fruit coming in. Not a lot, but that's gonna take a lot of jobs. Ugh, look at the food supply just tank when I do that. Oh, that's funny. It's okay. We still have 1 day worth of food. It's something, right? Okay, how many people do you have working here? Okay, so for cloth, you're currently in net 16, which means I can increase the amount of people I have working in the tailor by a little bit. But we do actually have clothing and a functional clothing industry now, which is good. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like, the most successful city I ever had in this game, I had like 70 plus food days. It was like actually getting a little bit nuts. But this is going to take, estimate, oh, you know, that's still 559 harvest. That's gonna keep 40 or 36 people busy. That's actually a pretty good harvest. Like, I kind of want to copy this. Just make 2 of them. You also got to remember, when I talk about those massive numbers, the game was very different back then. It was a much earlier version of the game. Just getting population was a lot more lax. Like, there wasn't a whole lot to it back then. I need that graveyard unlocked. There wasn't a whole lot to it back then. So if you... Oh my wordle. Look at that. Ugh. So harvest estimated next year is 871. This is 556. Damn. Yeah, no, this was like V20 something. Like, I had like 15,000 people. He did eventually reset the unlocks, but like, my stats made me look like I'm way better at this game than I actually am for a while there, because like the game kind of tracks like, you know, your biggest city and stuff like that, right? And there was a good chunk of time there where it was just like, oh yeah, no, your biggest city ever, it's like 14,000 people. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not that good at this game. Certainly not.